Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. So in some new drone footage from Caliber 197, we see Project Highland. I'm not sure where he got Project Darkstar, but we get some new data. First, you'll see the driver about to swipe down on the screen as if he's putting the car into reverse, not using a stock, just like the Model S and X. So does that mean upcoming Model 3s and Model Ys are going to have no stocks? Then if we zoom in on this image, you'll see a new steering wheel that almost looks like the wheel on the Tesla Semi. Now, these prototypes and alpha builds don't always make it to production, but with that said, at least given this drone footage, it would lead me to believe that there's a decent chance the Model 3 Project Highland is going to a no stock setup. Definitely not a guarantee, but after seeing this, personally, I'm definitely at least leaning that way. Caliber's full video will be linked below. We get more of the same from Pete Buttigieg, the transportation secretary, now saying Tesla shouldn't call its partially automated driving system Autopilot because the cars can't drive themselves. Even Wikipedia says autopilots do not replace human operators. My brother-in-law is a pilot, and he's told me many times that autopilot is a big deal in the aviation industry. And back in 2020, Elon said Tesla Autopilot was literally named after the term used in aviation. I don't really see too many people complaining about that use. Either way, Tesla already went through this legal battle in Germany and came out victorious. The higher regional court of Munich has ruled that Tesla is allowed to use autopilot and full self-driving in its communications. In the United States, Tesla has updated its referral and loyalty program. I've seen a lot of confusion on different credit numbers for different people. Just remember there are 3 tabs up at the top: refer, buyer, and then loyalty, so don't get those confused. This time around though, it looks like Tesla is doing something new, a Cybertruck raffle costing 500 credits. Enter for your chance to win a free Cybertruck. One lucky winner will get one of the first Cybertruck VINs. Personally, I'd rather have one after a few months of production, but I wouldn't be complaining about a free one, and multiple entries are allowed. And here's a screenshot of the referral credit amounts, but just FYI, it's now out there, so check your app if you're interested. Just yesterday, we talked about FSD 11.4.1 going out to employees, and one day later, it looks like it's now going out to customer vehicles for the first time. Speaking of FSD, local media got a tour of Giga Shanghai today, and local officials are now hinting that there may be some support for Tesla rolling out FSD in China. The official said Shanghai will further deepen its cooperation with Tesla, including self-driving and robotics in the city. It's worth noting that official did not directly mention FSD, but we did hear last month that Tesla was about to start testing FSD on a wide scale in China. We've talked about the new Hertz Electrifies program rolling out across the country. Next city up is Orlando, where Hertz plans to add 6,000 rental EVs to its existing fleet. They're also following up on their promise to provide EV education, and in this case, they're actually providing a free EV to a local tech school along with some EV education. Now, Orlando rolling out the same program that Hertz just launched in Atlanta last month. I have to point out this ridiculous reporting from CNN on Tesla's latest recall. Nowhere in this article does it mention Tesla fixing this with a software update, and there's no edit to the original article. It still just says Tesla's going to take back these 1 million plus vehicles. Later in the article, it gets even better as they say the Model 6 is going to be recalled as well. What's really going on here, from Reuters, Tesla's going to issue an OTA update. The problem here was these cars did not allow drivers to turn off regenerative braking or provide enough warnings when drivers stepped on the accelerator pedal hard. The OTA update will restore the option of turning off regenerative braking and warn drivers when they step hard on the accelerator pedal. What in the world are these folks doing over there in China? It's been all over social media today, but if you missed it, the Model S and X in the right-hand drive version have been canceled, And yes, reservation holders that have been waiting, in some cases up to 2 years, have had their orders canceled. I just have to say to everybody out there that was in the camp of having their order canceled after waiting up to 2 years, I am sorry on behalf of Tesla. That is absolutely brutal, and this is definitely not a good look on Tesla's part. And hear me out, I absolutely understand why Tesla is making this decision. It just seems like the manufacturing complexities of making the right-hand drive models doesn't make sense given the size of the market. But there should have been better planning, and more importantly, I know things always change, but there should have been better communication with these reservation holders over the last 2 years. And yes, some people are getting a few $1,000s in a credit to put toward a Model 3 or Y purchase, which is nice, but those people wanted a Model S or X. And yes, this applies to folks in the UK as well. And as Troy Teslike pointed out, dating back almost 10 years, Tesla has only sold about 35.7 thousand of these S and X to right-hand drive countries. And then on the same day, we have Tesla Japan tweeting that the Model S and X are heading to that market, which is predominantly right-hand drive. But doing a little digging, the internet is telling me vehicles in configuration to right-hand drive or left-hand drive are allowable in Japan. Don't forget, way back in 2019, Elon was already planting seeds about things like this, saying Tesla was only continuing to make the S and X for sentimental reasons more than anything else. And he said, they are really of minor importance to our future. And yes, the Model S and X going to Japan will only be left-hand drive variants. So ultimately, from a Tesla manufacturing and a Tesla efficiency standpoint, it's a great decision. But of course, for that cohort of people that were led to believe they were able to get this vehicle at some point, it's a terrible revelation. Now there's a few folks out there saying that this is the end of the Model S and X altogether. They're just too hard to make, but they just spent a long time refreshing these vehicles. So personally, I would be surprised if they were to end the Model S and X completely, including left-hand drive variants, anytime in the near future. With that being said, anything's possible, and at the end of the day, I wouldn't be that surprised. Tesla has also raised prices for the Model Y, S, and X in the United States again. So here are the updated numbers, and the green cells just indicate they're eligible for the IRA credits. The Model 3 prices remain unchanged this time around. The Model Y prices all go up $250, and the Model S and X all go up $1,000, but of course still down fairly significantly from where they started the year. At the same time, on the Tesla site, they're now advertising 3 years of unlimited free supercharging buying a new Model S or X, and they're offering new lower finance rates as low as $399. And just a quick note, in Canada, the Model 3 long-range variant is now available again, and if you scroll up, it also qualifies for the federal incentive as well as the extra one in Quebec. This little blurb was music to my ears, but the direct sales model, spearheaded by Tesla, has cost dealers in California last year almost $1 billion. And here's that simple math. The number of cars sold by Tesla, Rivian, and Lucid combined last year in California times the franchise dealership's average gross profit per new vehicle gives you that total of $910 million. I think this is where the kids would say, sorry, not sorry. Elon, yet again, is still trying to get out of his 2018 settlement with the SEC. This time around, she said it chills Elon's speech, limiting his ability to make statements about Tesla that don't violate securities laws. She asked a 3-judge panel of the Federal Appeals Court to throw out the deal or at least modify it. We'll see. Just a feel-good story here from the BBC. In the first 3 months of this year, a third of the country's electricity came from wind farms in the UK. An energy researcher said wind outsupplying gas for the first time is a genuine milestone event. Well done. It sounds like BYD is ready to launch its own ADAS product to compete with Tesla. Their system will be called DNP and we'll first see it on the 2023 Han, scheduled for release in Q4. At least to start, BYD's DNP will focus on highway driving, but it may come out with an FSD competitor in the future. BYD does have plans to roll this out to other vehicles as well, and yes, they will not be using LiDAR.
We wanted to give an update on our tonneau covers, both the powered tonneau and the manual tonneau.
Yeah, for the power tonneau, we're super excited to get this back into the plant. We have redesigned the tonneau. It's much quieter, a much more robust solution, and like I said, really can't wait to get it back into production. But what we're also excited about is the manual tonneau.
And we've got this great carrying bag for when you're taking the pieces out. Claire and I will take them out now.
Yeah, so pulls out. There are 4 pieces, and each just slides out and fits into the carrying case where there's a separator for each of them. So.
And one of the things that's nice is the case makes it really easy to move around. It loads in and out really easily.
Zip it up, and it fits right in the gear tunnel. You can just pop it right in.
Sticking with Rivian this week, they said they're confident of maintaining prices despite more competition, and they said them adding extra large batteries, better performance, and premium features will distinguish them from company rivals. RJ said we're seeing a continued upward shift in ASPs, and we will offer a lower priced variant, but not necessarily lower prices on the things we're offering today. We have VinFast looking to go public in the United States via SPAC later this year. If you've been watching, the track record for EV SPACs over the past few years has not been great, so this will be fun to watch. Subaru just announced 4 upcoming EV crossovers that will sell in the United States. However, they're planning to build them in Japan, and the head honcho at Subaru basically went on to say, do US customers really even make buying decisions factoring in the IRA credits anyway? So I agree, it's not solely on tax breaks, but it's also not nothing. And of course, it's now official, Elon has announced a new successor to CEO of Twitter, or X, Linda Yaccarino. She'll take over in about 6 weeks. Elon will of course still have a heavy role at Twitter as he'll focus on product design and new technology. Officially, Elon will move to the Executive Chair, Chief Technology Officer, overseeing product, software, and systems operations. Just real quick, now there are some rumors out there that Elon will also be stepping aside as Tesla's CEO. This is really just stemming from this Wall Street Journal article where Tesla board members have discussed Mr. Kirkhorn, Zach, as a possible successor to Elon as CEO, according to someone familiar with the matter. Look, I do think this day is coming eventually. Ultimately, I don't think it's going to be a major deal. Elon will still be involved no matter what his new role is. Personally, I don't think we're there yet, but again, it wouldn't surprise me if we saw something like this in the next 6 to 12 months. With that said though, if I had to bet on it in the next year, my guess would still be no.
You know, maybe 3 years ago, we would have thought there would have been a huge sell-off in Tesla stock if he announced that he was stepping down. Maybe not so much the case anymore.
Agree. I think that there would be a sell-off. I think that, but it would have been a run for the exits. I think 3 years ago, when the company was on pins and needles, it's in a very different place in terms of its cash position today. And separately, I think it's showed that it can operate without it. I think their CFO, Zach Kirkhorn, doesn't get as much credit as he deserves for keeping things moving, and I think that they've got a good product roadmap. And I think what is probably most important related to the conversation, which we're going to be having in a year or two about Musk leaving as CEO of Tesla, was probably more important is what his new role will be there. And it's a high probability that it's going to be some sort of a product role. As long as he's involved with the company in a product role, I think investors will generally be happy.
You can find me on Twitter at DylanLoomis22. Hope you guys have a wonderful and a safe weekend. Please like the video if you did, and a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters.